Moment.
July 9th, 2011. Yankee captain Derek Jeter goes 5 for 5 en route to recording his 3,000th hit on a home run off of Tampa Bay Rays pitcher David Price.
That one's drilled deep to left field. Going back choice. Looking up. See ya. 3,000. History with an exclamation point.
I wasn't sure it was going to be a home run. I mean, I've hit some home runs. I was hoping, but afterwards it was relief. You know, I was excited, but to be honest with you, I was pretty relieved.
Oh, what a way to join the 3,000 hit club. Derek Jeter has done it in grand style.
WICR.
And we're back to Throwback Thursdays with Chelsea Taylor Harris. But we're not going to talk about throwbacks just yet because we're going to talk about something that happened on campus last night, which was my event called Story Slam, held in the end zone. And today I brought these two boys in for a reason. They are veterans. They are the champs in my eyes. They are back, and we're going to talk about some stories that we remembered. I want to interrogate the both of you on your stories because I have a lot to say about it because I was just sitting there almost bawling my eyes out to the both of you guys. So first off, let's talk about your experiences here at Story Slam. Tell me about both your experiences over the past 2 years and 3 years for you.
Well, I enjoyed it a lot. I thought a lot of people came, which was cool. Like a lot of people. I got really nervous actually.
Yeah, the turnout's always pretty good.
It is.
And a lot of people. There was a lot of
Thanks to my PR.
yeah, there was a lot of like really good stories. I think just a lot of really like.
It was a lot better than last year.
Yeah.
It was like a lot of good people. Like last year was like people who just tried for the first time. Actually, people knew like what they were doing this year. Like people were up there like trying to win. People were up there actually trying to win it, and you could see it.
Yeah, it was. It was
Yeah.
kind of competitive.
It was I honestly, you've been there all four ones.
The whole
best storytelling
that
I've
was by far
ever
the best one.
seen
Yeah,
done.
It was really good. I was up there like wow. Like when I was listening to everyone else's, these are all very good.
They were crazy good. I actually want to start off with you, Mr. Gentlecore, because
Sure.
can you explain to some WICR viewers and listeners? Tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, mine was a little bit heavier than everyone else's, but it actually the Story Slam kind of fell into the like it kind of was a proper time to tell it because I actually have a friend who I've known since I was a child who is actually in rehab for prescription pills, and she's addicted. And I figured what better way than to kind of give her a confidence boost than tell a story about her and send it to her that I just told in front of 100-odd people. You know, try and give her a little confidence and maybe it'll help her get over the hump that she's in right now.
And last night,
awesome.
you mentioned that she had these big green eyes. So I want to know,
The little soft side of it.
little gossip girl over here, what's going on between you two?
Well,
He's blushing bright over here. Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Over here.
I've been like I've known her my whole life, and like junior year of high school.
Gentlecore is blushing right now. He's matching his shirt right now.
Junior year of high school, we started getting a little serious, and we tried to do a little relationship, but the long distance thing didn't work. But we decided the summer fling thing could just continue going on, and until this year, it was going pretty good.
And then
Until now, but you know, I'm going to see her on Saturday actually.
Aww.
Yeah, I'm gonna drive up there because I'm close from home.
Nice.
I'm such a sucker for love stories. Oh, good. Oh, Maria. What about you, Mr. Tommy Keefe? Last night you both talked about love last night, and I'm just sitting here. I'm like, oh my
Giant
god.
softies.
You are two giant
I don't know
softies.
if mine was love, yo. Looking back, I definitely was not love.
It was a little abusive.
A little crazy in love
Yeah,
over
well,
here.
first, shout out to my mom. Love you.
Shout out to all the moms out
Yeah.
there.
Oh,
My
yes.
mom too.
My mom, who probably won't watch this until tomorrow. She'll
Nah, but my
never
mom-
watch this.
Well, mine was pretty much like about my first girlfriend, and
Keith.
I mean, I won't go into detail, but I kind of chose her over my family for some. It wasn't like a lovey-dovey relationship. It was very dumb and awful, but I still was like, oh, she's the best, and I completely gave up on school and told my family to like go away. I didn't care, and yeah, and then when I woke up finally, it took my siblings to treat me like a like I said, like a lab partner that you see once a week.
Yeah, that has
was
died. Dude.
That was a real thing though.
That was a real.
Like my brother, like Jimmy, my brother would just kind of, I would be walking in and he would just be like, "Yo, what's up?" And that was it for the day. So it kind of took that, and for my mom to be like, "Listen, like your siblings don't really like you that much," to be like,
That's aggressive.
"All right, I gotta get out of it." No, but it was so true. It was so true.
You need the tough love sometimes.
No, I definitely needed it, and that's what turned it around. I mean, I wasn't planning on. I didn't have the grades for college. I wasn't really ready to go to college in any sort of fashion. But so my mom was like, "You're gonna swim," and I was
Mike
like,
Phelps
"Okay,
up.
yeah, Michael Phelps."
I pay attention.
Yeah, so I was like, "Okay," and then doing that and having my family support me definitely brought me here now, and now I'm a better person than I ever thought I could
Look
be.
at you now.
Yeah, really though.
Look at you now. I
Yeah.
had to go in there. But I thought these two stories, that's why I have them on here today, they stood out the most to me. And looking back over the past few years of Story Slam, I memorized people by their stories. And I want to ask you guys, which one was your, besides these two over here, which ones were your favorite stories and why?
I'd probably have to say, probably that girl Angel.
Yes.
Yeah, because she
the
was
winner.
like she knew how to speak, you know. A lot of people went up there and kind of were timid with their speech and like couldn't convey it, but she could really convey her speech. She was like, you know, tough Queens girl.
Oh, tough Queens girl, damn right,
Yeah.
reppin'. And probably shouldn't have said that on there. Oops, sorry, George. I thought, what about you, Tommy Keefe?
I like Nico's.
Nico!
And Nico's always funny. His
Shout out
was
to
funny.
Nico and Vincenzo's.
Yeah, that was so great.
Crying.
Yeah, his was good. His was really good. I like
Yeah.
Nico's.
Oh, okay, that was those two stories. Nico's. That was great.
Yeah, Nico, that was just
And-
typical Nico.
And what surprised you about some of these stories, both of you? Because these stories, we were talking about it in the room afterwards with my roommates, and we were talking about how deep some of these people.
Yeah, okay, so
But
the one
you
that
too.
surprised me the most was oh my gosh.
I thought Kyle Burns
Yeah.
surprised me the most.
Which one was that one?
The one with the juvenile, and he was like the fat boy.
Oh yeah, and he
That one
he
was
in,
good.
Like, juvenile
The
hall.
one
It was crazy.
who went before me.
Who? Johnny Diaz.
Johnny Diaz. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
he's the
Oh my
homie.
God.
He his story. I literally turned to my friend Dave, my teammate, and I was like, "Dude, if I have to go after this guy, I mean, this guy escaped the hood, like did better than making his whole family proud, and I'm about to go up there and talk about my 15-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, this is not gonna be okay, but yeah."
That's actually surprised me.
Like,
His
it
was
was like
good,
an
too.
awesome story.
This was really good. I thought I was gonna be able to make it. He paused for like 2 minutes. I was like, oh, this guy's done. He's not gonna be able to continue his story.
Yeah,
Aw.
He got real emotional.
Yeah, well, I mean,
No.
that's like
Yeah.
such a big thing.
That's what I'm saying. So he overcame a lot right there.
He did, and I would looking at him like that's what the beauty of Story Slam is. You look at someone, you don't know their story until they
yeah.
open up their mouth.
No, yeah.
I've known Johnny Diaz for years now. I would have never ever.
Yeah,
thought
I
that
would have
about
never guessed
him.
that at all.
Yeah, I see the guy on campus all the time. Never thought that was like his story.
Yeah.
You know.
And
Yeah.
that's a great story.
No, it definitely is.
What about some of the lady stories? Because we're talking about all the manly stories. So one of them
those
that
are-
stuck out to me was Monica Jesby's. I actually saw her this
Oh
morning.
yeah, Monica.
Yeah, Monica's-
Monica's
That
was
was-
really, really good.
The
Yeah.
abusive.
She's a superhero, yo.
She is
That's
a
what I'm saying.
superhero.
She gets a cape.
I honestly thought
She
I thought
does.
she was gonna tell us a story about something else, but she
Yeah.
did
That
that.
I
one.
think that's what
Yeah.
everyone thought.
And you know what? The thing though, I respected that so much.
Yes.
How like she went up there and told a completely different story than what everybody else thought she was gonna say, and I was like,
Cannot
wow.
agree.
But it was,
And
like
a great
just
story.
as
It was.
it's not. I mean, like I think to certain people it would be just as big. I mean, abusive relationships to people like
Oh,
it
yeah.
ruins
It
lives.
hits,
That's what
it
I'm
hits
saying.
home to a lot of people.
So
out there.
I think I don't know. She just to me was like a superhero.
That was a superhero move. She is Superwoman. Good.
Yeah.
Hope she was Superwoman for Halloween, cause girl, she is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
that
tight.
was awesome.
That was a really good one. What else was a good one? I like the lost phone one.
The lost
Oh,
phone
yeah.
one.
Elizabeth Petron.
Yeah, that girl was funny. It was almost like a stand-up act though, but
It
it was really cool.
so
though. Yeah,
funny.
she was funny.
Yeah.
She was really funny.
And that related the most to me, cause your girl kind of lost her phone this weekend, and I was
the
going
worst.
in and out of the city. So I'm sitting here and I'm looking at my roommates. They're like, Chelsea, this is you all over again. I'm like, girl, I got my new phone over here, so bye.
Yeah,
So
true.
that was, I thought that she needs to be
Still
a
have my
comedian.
phone.
Yeah, that was like really funny. I was not expecting that from her.
Not at all. And who else? The Brooke Petro too, the one with the boyfriend.
Oh, Brooke.
Brooke,
Yeah.
that was crazy.
Wait, which one?
The one who cheated on the mother.
her.
Cheater.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
wild.
Sitting in the A&P or whatever that was.
Yes.
Drinking coffee. Yeah.
That was.
that was
I was
wild.
like,
that one was
what?
wild. And she was funny though too.
Yeah,
she was funny.
so chill about it because I compared you to her.
Yeah.
Actually, Tommy, because you guys had such kind of serious topics.
Yeah.
But you made light out of it.
Yeah, I think the same thing for her and I was that it was a major, like, it really, the events that led up to that were how we, like, became what we are today because of those events. And, like, to me, like, that's a serious thing with my family. I mean, like, we completely divided and now we're together, but now it's like a joke. Like, we make fun of each other all the time for it. Well, mainly me, but, like, but yeah, like,
Tommy
that was the
Keefe
same
the
thing for her.
jokester.
And oh, my foot. She
Sorry, Tommy.
she made it the same way. She was very just like, she made it funny, and even it could have been very serious and very intense, but the way she went about it, it still sent the message, but it was lighthearted, and it ended positively. So.
When she said the cheating thing, the whole room, literally, you could hear a pin drop.
Oh, yeah,
There's 100
yeah,
people
yeah,
in
yeah.
there.
Yep.
You literally heard a pin
I
drop.
know.
You know what Pignata was we obviously talked about it afterwards, we had
Yeah.
a group chat about it. She kind of reminded me of my story from freshman year.
Yeah.
I'll refresh
yeah.
everyone on this one. Way back when, like, I had some personal stuff. My father was cheating with my mother, and everyone was like, ooh.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
And that was kind of fresh to me, and it was kind of like a therapy talking to Story Slam people
Yeah,
about
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
how
what
my
that's what it
father
was for me
That's
too.
them.
cheated on
Same,
me.
same.
Cheated on me and my family, basically, and that's why I signed on to it. And it kind of reminded me of hers, but hers was way better than mine. You go, Brooke.
Yeah.
She said it way better than I could have ever done it. So I thought hers was perfect because me, Pegdana, and I looked at each other like, ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
ooh.
Like I like to
getting
think
good.
like the three of us, like just sitting here, like we're like extroverted people. Like we like
Yeah.
to talk, we like
Yeah.
to speak. We don't mind talking in front of other people. Like
Absolutely.
this is like such like a good way to like get our like feelings out. Like,
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
it's like,
That
it
was like,
I'm just sitting up there like literally like if I gotta talk about something, like it makes me feel 10,000.
Yeah. Absolutely, and I've known him for years. I don't know you.
Yeah.
This is like our first time, like actually sitting down and
Yeah,
having a conversation.
exactly.
But that's what's so. That's why I love Story Slam. You get to
Yeah.
know these people that you think one thing of someone you
Yeah.
never thought.
yeah. Oh, by the way, Matt. Remember Matt from my first story? He committed to Princeton.
He did.
Yeah.
So tell Mr.
that's
Jensicore over
crazy.
here what your first story is about, and remind our
Just- I just
viewers 'cause
found out.
that was the winning story over here.
Okay, so pretty much I was like in charge of this kid, Matt, who was like at 14, he was like the top 14-year-old in the country, but he had like a lot of like, you know, depression issues and stuff, and we knew about it beforehand, so like it was pretty much how me and him, like, our relationship and how he battled depression but like came over it and now is like really good, and it was because of like our relationship and our friendship, and
That's
now
cool,
he's
man. Good for
yeah,
him. That's
yeah
awesome.
now he's going to
Awesome.
Princeton, who's like Ivy League champs.
Yay!
That's awesome. Yeah,
I'm so
you helped him.
happy.
That's,
Yeah,
that's
it was
cool.
cool.
Good for you, dude.
Tommy Keefe could be a swimmer and a mentor.
You know, I mean, I'm not gonna take it. He's still so fast. I didn't have anything
Got
to do
appointments
that.
for psychology, man?
Yes. Sign me up. I need some mentoring.
I got you on that therapy. I got it.
Yes, Tommy Keefe, the therapist. Swimmer and therapist, multi-talented.
You know.
But what else we can talk about for Story Slam? What do you think of Lenny, the second co-host?
Yeah,
Oh, Lenny's the man. Lenny's a
he
cool
was,
dude.
He was a lot.
Yeah.
Just not a bad thing at all. He was
Yes.
a lot. I was
Lenny's
like,
a cool guy.
He complimented me.
yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I was like literally the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was ready to
And
go.
I
He
was like the hyperactive Red Bull one, and he was like keeping it chill, like, yo,
Yeah.
what's up?
But he was keeping it chill, but he was also like 1,000 miles an hour too.
Yes,
That
that's
guy
why.
moves,
He,
man.
yeah,
He's always moving.
He was.
That's why we're on the same wavelength,
Yeah.
Tommy Keefe. That's why we brought him in.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
We're thinking a mile a minute.
His haircut's crazy, too.
Yeah, his
know.
haircut was
I'm trying to
wild.
figure it out. It looked like Prince with like
Yeah.
some LL Cool J. It was crazy.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was.
my two favorite human beings. Stop. He had better curls than I did, and I was kind of jealous.
He did have
I
some
was-
Yeah,
nice
man, those
I
curls
was
were crazy.
jealous. I was like, Lenny,
Yeah. Come look at the guy from
stop
Curly
making me
Hair.
look bad.
Yeah.
You're making me look real bad.
Yeah,
But what
he
else? Pegnata. I can't. But Pegnata
Wait.
said it was her last.
Is it? Like, I didn't even know that.
She didn't tell me.
So, like, she's not teaching here any longer? Is that what that
I
means?
don't really
I don't
know.
She's going on the. She's been doing a lot of speeches. She's going on that TED
Talk, yeah.
TED Talk. or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, 'cause-
That is wild.
Yeah, I really,
for her.
she's the only reason I got into it. To be honest,
She
Yeah,
did?
she was the only reason. Last year I had her class, and like you have to do like the stories for the grade, and she was like, "Hey, like, listen, I think you're really good. You should do a story slam this year." And I was like, "All right, whatever. Like, I'm in."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
And here I am now.
I know. She chased after you the other day. That was great.
Yeah, she's great.
Literally, she's like, "That's Anthony Shuntegor. He didn't get back to me." Runs after him.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh my god."
She's probably the best professor I've had here.
I cannot agree more with that one.
Yeah.
And
was great.
She was the. You have it right now.
I have it
actually.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see. I wish I could.
Yeah, she's
I'm gonna
great.
see if I can take her this next semester because
if
I guess she's not
still here.
teaching anymore.
If she's still here, fingers crossed, because she's single-handedly the most influential person I've met at Iona
Yeah,
thus
no,
far.
No,
me
absolutely.
too. I'm
She's
so,
great.
yeah, she's like the only professor that I actually like keep in contact with.
Yeah.
Her and I like Dr. FP too.
FP,
Yeah, she's cool. I met
FP's
with
the
her
homie.
too.
take
Yeah.
FP. when
She's
you
my
think about
advisor.
it.
I have 4 classes with her next semester.
Oh snap! Oh
man.
snap!
And
FP,
my
don't,
advisor.
don't get sick of Mr. Tommy Keefe, FP. FP.
Nah, she believes in me. She's great.
She's awesome, and she was a judge as well this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, she will do.
And Dr.
She gave me the
Jones.
confidence to like do it. I was like, I don't know if I really want to do it, and she's like,
Third time's
nah,
a charm.
she was just like, I think you're really good at it. I think you're really good at what you do, so you should definitely do it. Like she was like, I believe in you, and I was like, oh, nice.
A lot of people, speaking of FP, a lot of people, we take an interviewing class together. A lot of people from our interviewing class, was in a story slam.
Yeah.
Nico, obviously.
So that was
Yeah.
Pegnata too. A lot of
Pegnata.
my Pegnata class was in there too.
Yeah, she pressures a lot of people.
Oh yeah,
In a good way.
She
loves
drops
doing that.
bombs on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
extra credit, but
Yep.
it was all worth
Double
it.
extra credit.
Yeah.
Mom,
Oh, yeah.
double extra credit.
I'm
If
telling you,
you're
I think the
listening-
next one has to be like
the
less
poetry,
people.
The poetry slam.
Oh, it's
It's
not gonna be a story
poetry
slam.
slam.
Oh,
It's
it's gonna be a
slam?
poetry slam next semester.
Oh,
Can you
see,
do
I'm
that?
not, see, I cannot do. I mean, I'll write a haiku poem.
I'll
Do
freestyle.
it!
I'll freestyle.
Yeah, go up there and start
Oh my!
freestyling.
I'm bad at poetry.
Me
like,
too. I couldn't even tell you the first thing about poetry.
Like the only poetry I think of is some old school rap, which we're gonna talk about in our next segment
I'm
coming up.
rapping.
But that's the only thing I think of when poetry. Like, and what else poetry? Like the poetry stuff you see on Twitter. But I'm like, there's some
Yeah.
serious
My
poetry.
friend's really good at poetry.
You know what? Say it.
No,
say it,
it's
say
not.
it,
Say it.
say
CV
it,
Daddy,
say it.
yeah. Chris Vidala. He's
um,
not. He's really. I mean, he freestyles. He's not that good though.
So last show that he was on here, he
bugged
mentioned
out.
a rap. He did.
Oh, yeah,
He
he's
mentioned
really
a
nervous.
rap battle between him and his swim mate, C Smooth.
Yeah. CV Smooth.
CV
CV
Smooth.
Daddy. Chris Vidala.
That's a great name.
That,
Oh yeah. No, he's a great guy.
That is an awesome rapping name. I hope he makes it. Maybe he should do poetry slam.
I mean, maybe he doesn't really rap. I mean, we just made him rap once, and like it was just amazing. It was fire.
Fire.
It was fire facts.
Fire. But I'm actually really excited for next semester.
No, it's gonna be
For
crazy.
the poetry slam. It's something different. I've
Yeah.
never really heard of. Like the only thing besides like a poetry slam I can think of is the coffee house.
Yeah.
So
I've
this
never attended that.
it's dope. I
Really?
didn't go to it this semester.
dope.
Dope. So Brooklyn of me.
Yeah, you're just so Brooklyn.
Dude.
It's crazy.
It's so dope. But I've never really heard of a poetry thing going on in Iona. So poetry slammers, if you're out there, you listening, talk to me at Pegnata or
Yeah.
tweet us at IC Story Slam. Yeah.
There you go.
And I think on that note, what are your last thoughts before we wrap it up and take it to a break? What are last thoughts about IC Story Slam, fourth annual Story Slam?
I thought it was amazing. I thought it was a really, really good. I like came out of there a better person. Not even
Me
from
too.
telling my
Every
story,
time-
but
every
just
time I-
listening.
me too. I think
Like
that's,
that last one was really like
Crazy.
yeah.
I-
Like every story was really, really good. A lot of people a lot of people did not leave after the first.
Few stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone stayed through, and it was like really, really.
It was a
It was
crazy.
baller.
It was a
Yeah.
crazy story slam, and I'd like to thank Pegnata for having me again. Thank you, Lenny Rodriguez, Dr. Jerry Martin of the International Students Department, and everyone who came, and the bagels from our dear friend at the bagel store, Mr. Dom DeBenedictus. He's a sophomore here, and it was a really good story slam, and I could have not have done it.
No, yeah, you
It
did a
was
great job,
excellent.
Chelsea.
You're a
You
great
did
host.
great.
Thank you so
Fantastic
much.
host.
Thank
Great
hostess with the mostest. But I think on that note, we're going to take a break. And we'll be right back. We're going to play some throwback songs. And we're talking about my favorite part, my favorite segment of the whole entire show, Throwback Thursdays. Bye.
Love you, Mom.
ICR presents another great new